What's good, YouTube? Pasta here, and welcome to my kitchen. What's up, YouTube? Pasta here, and welcome to the kitchen. So what we're going to be doing today, before we even get started, I wanted to thank you guys for helping me reach 100 subscribers. It means a lot to me. I also wanted to introduce cooking into my channel, because when I'm not saucing up on the court, I like to sauce it up in the kitchen too, because it gives us a mix of, personal and gaming lifestyle. I have a life, and I'm sure you guys too, but I want to make it better and improve that by showing you how to do the right thing in the kitchen. It'll get you to ladies, or man, if you're a lady. So today we're going to be making chicken Parmigiano. I'm going to show you how to do everything from scratch. I'm going to show you, so the ingredients we're going to need first, you're going to need, of course, your chicken breast. As you can see, 2 chicken breasts. I'm going to show you how to prep them. We're going to need Gordon Ramsay's favorite ingredient, olive oil. We're going to need an onion. And the next thing you're going to need is diced tomatoes. You could use diced, you can use crushed or stewed. That is up to you, that is your choice. Either way, we're going to make sauce out of these bangers. So, next thing you're going to need, we're going to need bell pepper, green and red for color. They basically taste the same, just so you know. What is an Italian without his famous garlic? So we're going to go ahead and get that as well. Basil for later on in the process when we're cooking the sauce. We're going to need carrots. You can get the whole carrot. You can get the sliced ones like I did. Either way works. And of course, eggs. And last but not least, the breadcrumbs for the chicken. Okay, so before we get started, guys, before you cook any meal in the kitchen, you want to make sure you guys wash your hands. For safety, of course, you don't want any gross stuff in your food. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with after we've washed our hands is we're going to start on the base of the sauce, or the sofrito. Okay, so then we're going to need our carrots, we're going to need our peppers, and we're going to need our garlic and onion. Oh yeah, Gordon Ramsay's favorite ingredient, olive oil. Alright, so to start this out, we're going to actually chop and prep this. Make sure that your vegetables are washed beforehand. Okay? So what we're going to do is, when you're cutting, you want to keep your fingers curled down like so that the blade can actually rub up against your finger. That's how you avoid from chopping your hand off. Okay? So be safe out there, guys. 1 chop. 2 chop. 3 chops. And our last but not least, we can just carve that out. Whatever, get your seeds out. Okay. I'm gonna clean it up, guys, don't worry. It's a mighty mess. Okay. So essentially what you wanna do is you wanna make sure your peppers are cut. We're gonna get all of the seeds out of the way. Okay, you could save them, put them in a pot, no matter. You want to grow some peppers, do your thing. Of course, you can get rid of the seeds. So in a second here, I'm going to show the video once everything's chopped up. I'll continue off. Alrighty, so now that we got all of our ingredients finally cut up, what we're going to do is get it all set up for a puree. But just a disclaimer, I'm using a full onion because I'm feeding a family of 8. I can count. We're feeding a family of 8, and what we're going to do now is we're going to make this puree. If you're only feeding a family of 4, only use half an onion. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get all our ingredients nicely set in here. Don't forget your garlic, don't forget your olive oil. Alright, so now that I got all my ingredients in the blender, we're using 2 tablespoons of garlic. We used our bag of carrots, and 1 pepper, 1 green pepper, 1 red pepper. And of course, don't forget your olive oil. You want to put a good amount of olive oil, about to right here where my finger is on the blender, is perfect. So now we're going to cover this thing up, and we are going to start making this a puree. Alrighty, so now that we have our ingredients blended into a puree, what we're actually going to do now is we're going to take this puree that we just made, and if you guys want to take a look at it. Hold on. Alright.
We tried.
Alright. If you guys actually wanted to take a look at it, it looks like. Here, let me come over here. I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera, but as you can see, it looks like not so great yet. But it's okay, because it smells wonderful. Alright, so anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to take this over to our saucepan. We're going to put that heat on low, and we're going to get this started. We're going to leave it on the stove for about 15 to 20 minutes, let all those flavors blend together, because we want the most impactful flavor in our sauce, because that is the most important part of our pasta. So let's go ahead and get that done now. Alright, for the next part of this process, we're going to head down to making the rest of the sauce. So we're going to get into our diced tomatoes, and as you guys could see, the diced tomatoes. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get these things into our blender here. Yummy. All right, and one more. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same process, all right? So the same thing we're going to do, we're going to get this blender going, we're going to go ahead and cover it up, just like so, and we are going to start. Okay, now this process is done. Let's take a look at what we got. Alright, what we should have is a good consistency. So I'm actually going to show you guys here with the spoon here. You're going to notice that it's becoming a sauce base, right? Keep in mind, this sauce is actually going to thicken up over time. You actually don't want your sauce to be like this. It shouldn't be liquidy, it shouldn't be full of water, because it's literally going to run off the plate. That's not sauce. Alright? So, we're going to actually put this to the side here, because what we got to do next is very important. We got to start prepping the chicken. Alright? Because while that is cooking, keep in mind our puree is cooking on the stove. Our sofrito is working. So we want to get all those flavors together. Alrighty guys, now onto the chicken. Alright, so I have a couple of pieces of chicken to show you guys the process. So what we're going to do is we have our fully grown, well-developed breast. And we'll slap that thing on there. Okay? What I need you guys to do is, first we're going to trim the fats. You guys are going to notice that there's some fats on the chicken. You guys want to be as, you know, we can do a little healthy once in a while. Alright. So once we get it all trimmed up, let's get that out of there. Alright. So once you get your fats trimmed, what I want you to do is we're going to actually cut it in half. So I'm going to try to show you this concept here. Let me move this out of the way so you guys can see. Here, we're going to actually be cutting it in half. So you want to lay your palms flat on top. You want to work the knife straight through. Let the knife do the work. Okay? It's going to cut straight down the middle. Keep it center. Keep it center. Keep it center. Staying focused all the way through. Alright, and now this should cut cleanly in half. You're going to have two different pieces, okay? This is going to make it way easier to cook, okay? So now what do you do next is, first we're going to spray our pan, our cooking pan. We're going to spray that thing with some olive oil, make sure it doesn't stick, okay? Alright, now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and bread the chicken breast here. So now the breadcrumbs that I am using are Italian breadcrumbs. You can buy them at Walmart. Okay, so our egg mixture, what we're going to do is I'm going to leave the egg mixture as is. You're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Alrighty, so we're going to add our salt. We're All right, cool. And we're gonna get our, let's open the lid first. Get our pepper, crack some of that in there. You know what I'm saying? We get our little fork. Make sure your eggs are well beaten. Alright, we're ready. Now you're gonna get your beautiful piece of chicken. We're gonna go ahead and dip that in the egg. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and get that covered. This is gonna help get the breadcrumbs stuck. You can also use flour after this. If you do eggs and then flour and then breadcrumbs, it actually helps the breadcrumbs stick even better. I normally just do eggs and breadcrumbs. So we're gonna go ahead and slide that in our nifty little gadget bag here. We're gonna close it up. Okay, with the bag sealed. And this is the fun part. You're just gonna round that thing around like this. And you're gonna have an even coated chicken breast, okay? Now, open it up. Down through, you're gonna see our breaded chicken breast. Just go ahead and lay that in our pan. We're gonna do the same process with the second one now, okay? So we're gonna go right into the eggs. Just cover the whole thing. Okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and move it on over to the breadcrumbs. Put that in there. This is a little messy. It's okay. It's gonna taste good at the end. Okay? Once again, we're gonna evenly coat it. We're gonna go through here. We're gonna pull out our evenly coated chicken breast. And we're going to set that right down there. All right, beautiful. Now, we're gonna do the same thing with the other one, of course, but you're gonna basically follow this process until you're through your chickens. And then what we're gonna do now is we're actually preheat our oven to 350. We're leaving it at 350, let that preheat because it's gonna be in there for about an hour. Okay, another important part of the process before you put it in the oven is you want to make sure you stab the chicken a couple of times to let that grease get on out. Okay, you don't want it to be trapped inside the chicken, or else it'll be a massacre when you cut into it. So just do that. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Alrighty guys, so what's next is, now that we've been prepping our chicken, we're gonna go ahead and check in on our puree here. So if you want to come closer, we're gonna go ahead and show you what our consistency is kind of looking like here. And if you guys could smell this, you could smell all the ingredients in there. You could smell a little bit of carrot. You could smell the prominence of the garlic. It's a really, really good aroma. And then of course you want to make sure that you're doing a little taste test throughout the entirety of your cooking process. So you get yourself a little tasting spoon on the side. You're just gonna dip that spoon in, just to get the flavors on the spoon. You go ahead and give that a taste. Wow. Okay, so you can taste garlic, carrot, the onion. I'm not a big fan of onions. Keep that in mind. I don't like getting the texture of biting into raw onion. You can taste the flavor of the onion, but you don't get that texture, which is going to be an amazing thing when we make this sauce. You're not going to have like this crunchy sauce because of the carrots and the bell peppers and the onion. It's actually all emulsified into this liquid. So it's going to blend in with the sauce. It's going to taste absolutely great. So let's go ahead and continue. Okay guys, so here's our close-up of the sauce. As you can see, we're mixing it in all together. This is going to take a bit of time to cook. Make sure you're cooking at a very low temperature. It's going to embrace all of the flavors that we put in there. So what you're going to do, you're going to cover it, let it simmer for about an hour. Okay, in the last 20 minutes we're going to be taking the lid off, but you guys will see that part later. So all you have to do, simple stuff, cover it up and we're good. Alrighty, quick update. Before we get the chicken pulled out here and covered with our sauce and our mozzarella, we actually have to start the pasta as well. So we're simply going to put the water, we're going to have our water obviously in our pan. You're going to add salt, okay? And then I do a little bit of olive oil to prevent the sticking. situation, and like I said before, I'm going to be using angel hair.
You.
Alrighty, guys, so now we made it to the chicken. We got the chicken pulled out of the oven. I actually scooped a bit of the sauce that we had cooking on this stove this whole time. All you have to do is get a nice adult-sized spoon full. We're going to go ahead and put this right over. Alright guys, so let's get this thing back in the oven now that we got it all prepped. We're going to go ahead and move over here. We got our oven ready. We're going to go ahead and slide that right in the rack here now that we got it all prepped. And we're going to put that right up. And as you can see, our pasta water is actually just about ready to boil. So we're about to put our pasta in there and we're going to get started. You want to see the sauce update at the same time, we might as well check on that as well because you can never be, I don't know the word for it yet because I'm lost in the sauce, I guess. But, see, tasting spoon, of course. We're gonna taste again. I know I taste a lot in the video, but it's important that you know what you're eating so we can create a balance of flavor throughout the entire meal. Now, wow. All right, this sauce is really starting to settle. All the flavors are balanced now. I can taste a little bit of everything. It's on the sweeter end of sauces because we were using that bell pepper. So you don't need to do anything extra to this. Now we're just waiting for dinner. Okay, so one extra thing you guys can do to this sauce to take it up another notch is we're gonna add our basil, as I showed you guys in the beginning of the video. So this strategy is actually quite simple. Obviously I'm gonna wind up using a lot of this because I have a ton of sauce. So all you gotta do with the leaf, very straightforward. Pull your leaf off, and you're not gonna actually cut this. You're just gonna look. This is that easy. You're gonna tear it. Now the sauce is hot. You don't have to cook this. Okay. What's gonna happen is with the basil in there, all of the flavor from the basil is actually gonna expand out into that sauce, just giving that extra boost of flavor. Okay. So you're just gonna add a generous bit. You can really smell this too. The aroma from the basil is really strong. So like we can get the whole tree. All right, because we got a bit in here, right? So we're gonna start tearing away, and you can see. Ah, that smells amazing. I love this smell. Okay. Really starting to feel the Italian come in. Alright, and when we're done with this, what we're gonna get that angel hair pasta in there, inside the boiling water. I'm gonna show you guys some tips and tricks. We're actually not gonna be tearing the pasta in half. I'm gonna show you guys a method to keep it from sticking in the pan. Alrighty guys, so we're almost headed to the 20-minute mark here, so we're gonna be taking care of a few things right now. First things first, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach you guys how to make garlic bread relatively quickly, but at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and head over to the stove really quick. I'm gonna pull off the lid because now we're gonna let that sauce thicken up. So right now it's in this like watery status. We want all that water to escape and the sauce to thicken. So in order to do that, you're gonna let it simmer for the last 20 minutes, but without the lid. All right, so now that that's done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna teach you how to prep some garlic bread. Really easy stuff. All you gotta do, butter, garlic, cheese, preferably mozzarella. Okay, I don't have the real brick of mozzarella because I'm using the real bricks for our chicken parm, which we're also going to be setting up right after this. So first things first, we're gonna carve into this. Got bread sliced nicely in half with our nice bread knife here. Be careful, these knives are sharp, okay? Let's see, let me get that there. We'll be able to flip that off right there, boom. Nice, okay. Now, we're gonna grab the butter, open that thing up. All right, now that's open. Garlic, grab a spoon. Spoon, garlic in there. There's like 1 or 2 tablespoons. It's garlic bread, so it's gotta taste garlicky. All right. And that's done. Let's close that up. Get this in the microwave. We're gonna get this melted. Okay, put that in the microwave. Let's do a minute and 30 seconds. Going to start that. Also, right now, one other thing that we're gonna have to start doing as well. In a couple of minutes, we're gonna be starting to make the pasta. I'm going with angel hair because it is my preference of pasta. I like thinner spaghetti. It takes the sauce really well, so that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, now while that's getting done for the next minute, we're gonna do an update on the sauce. We're gonna be pulling this out, and we're gonna go ahead and switch off to the other camera real quick so that I can show you the rest of the process. Alright guys, so a couple of things are going to be happening right now. Since we mixed our basil into the sauce, our next part of the process, we're going to be getting the spaghetti in there. What I have is angel hair, so if you use spaghetti noodles, whatever floats your boat. But we're also going to get that garlic bread in there really quick. So our beautiful garlic bread, we're just going to go ahead and put that thing in the oven, just like this. I can already see that mozzarella melting. It looks so good, guys. Alright, so check us out. Now that that part of the process is done, we're going to get our angel hair. We're going to open these packages without spilling a piece of this angel hair. Look, I am not a trained professional, okay, but this is how I do things. Alright, cool. So, look, we got our angel hair now. Now you're going to actually put it in just like this, at an angle, okay? You're gonna place it in one corner, you're gonna lay it down, okay? Now I cook in a bit of this stuff, because of course, big family. So, again, we're gonna get this package open. Just like so. Alright, and then you're also going to lay this down, corner to corner, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get our tongs, okay, to prevent it from sticking. We're just going to use some tongs, okay? And as this is cooking, you're actually just going to twist it into the water. And if you want a close-up here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how this is looking. Alright, so we're actually twisting it in. As you can see, the noodles are going to go in. And to prevent them from sticking, you're going to go in closed and open them up just like this. And that's going to space out those noodles, and then you're just going to twist again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Okay? Alrighty guys, so we're getting to the final seconds. 5 seconds left before our perfect meal. As soon as that timer goes off, alright, we're going to go ahead and hit that off switch, hit that stop button. We're going to see our pasta is just about ready. We're going to get that strained. We're going to check in on this garlic bread, and you guys are going to see this is something else, okay? There's something special that I want to add to this as well. You always could do Italian seasoning, which is usually my go-to. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull that out. And we're going to get in here, pull out our garlic bread. Let's go ahead and see a close-up of that, huh? Alright, look at that. That looks amazing, right? And the finishing touch, of course. You're going to get your Italian seasoning. You're just going to sprinkle that, just like that on the bread. Okay? Just like that. And it looks amazing. Awesome. Alright, cool. Next thing. The chicken parm. You guys probably want to see what that looks like, right? As a final product. We're going to pull that banger out of the oven and look at that. Ah, this is going to be so good. Alright guys, so we got everything out of the oven. I just want you guys to hear something with the garlic bread. Hear that crispy outside? That's awesome. Now, I'm going to teach you guys how to plate real quick. This should be really, really straightforward. We got our spaghetti strained. I'm going to get the camera in some better position so that we can get everything. Alright guys, so as far as plating goes, we're going to head over to our strained stuff. Strained angel hair. You're going to twist and pull up, okay? When you plate it, oh yeah, look, it just tears apart. You'll love to see it. Alright. want is very stringy spaghetti. So you're gonna plate your spaghetti in the middle. Get that nice and centered on your plate. I'm using paper plates because we're in the process of moving, guys, so don't roast me too hard. Alright, so once you have a generous amount of spaghetti on the plate, we head over to our sauce. You can get a nice ladle. Okay. And you get a ladle full of that sauce. You're actually going to center that right over here. So we're gonna actually do this a couple of times. So you're gonna have your ladle full of sauce there, right? Then what you want to do is you want to get your parm. Get your Parmigiano out. So we're gonna actually lay it across the top here. Okay. Now, I'm gonna head over here one more time. Now it is at the end. You guys can add Parmesan cheese. You're gonna get that right over. Okay. Go ahead and lay that flat. Get any piece of garlic bread that you'd like. Take that off to the side right here. Of course, if you want to do a little finesse, okay, for decorative purposes, you get yourself some pretty parsley, right? You're gonna put that off to the side here. Makes it look way more exotic, way more expensive, right? So now you have a really, really fancy paper plate chicken Parmigiano. And with that being said, hold my pasta.